Asmongold reacting to Phil crashing out?
What do?
Nutshell, very briefly. I'm going to summarize it as quickly as I can. In the last week, the streamer / content creator Asmongold started watching my detractor content publicly on his stream. Not once, but twice.
It's not detractor content, because detractor content has to have a degree
Commentary.
of editorializing in it.
Yes.
There's no editorializing in the video.
Now, what's
There's no
crazy
editorial.
to me is that Asmongold can formulate this here, but when face-to-face with Phil, was incapable, or I suppose unwilling, of doing this. Because at no point does the core dispute between Asmongold and Phil actually get addressed in said interview between Asmongold and Phil. At no point do they ever actually go over, like, well, is it out of context with any sort of pushback or criticism or common sense at all. But this is like Phil's beef, is that it's all out of context, when in fact, these are all just raw clips of Phil. There's no way to present it out of context. He's a live streamer playing games and failing. It's not out of context.
Even when we interviewed him, or Side Scrollers, for example, we pushed back on a lot of shit. We're like, but what about this? What about Darish? What about this? What about...
I mean, we would do it in kind of a joking way,
to make it not...
and kind of laugh and just kind of disarm him. And then a lot of the time he would admit, yeah, he was fucking felt. But the thing is, Phil will take L after L after L just to try and scrounge some amount of parasitic money out of a situation.
Yeah.
So with Asmongold, right, from any normal person's point of view that's watching, Asmongold is in complete control of the interaction. He's clowning on Phil. He's dabbing on Phil during the debate. He's making all sorts of passive-aggressive comments at Phil's expense. He's asking questions in such a way as to make Phil look foolish with Phil's answers. And Asmongold, honestly, through the first part of it, and we may actually watch a little bit of the first part of it, even though I didn't plan to, Asmongold had a very weird rhythm to him that did interrupt and fuck with Phil's like pre-streaming and pignosis, to a point where I actually thought, I'm like, this guy, because this is the first time I really watched Asmongold, I go, this guy might actually be very, very fucking smart. I thought for a minute, I was like, this guy might actually be a fucking genius. And the way that he's just leading Phil into felting himself with his questions and stuff like that. But then ultimately, Asmongold, as he said himself, he's like, I didn't want to be mean to this guy. I didn't want to be confrontational to this guy. I didn't want to be aggressive with this guy. And then just let Phil pre-stream unchallenged, making bizarre statements that made no fucking sense with no pushback. Ultimately, though, when you're talking to Phil, it's so fucking exhausting because he lies as he fucking breathes and just wears you down because you can't even challenge the amount of bullshit that comes from his mouth, because it takes 10 times as long to debunk Phil's fucking lies and pin him down on his lies, even if you have the full receipts and knowledge, as it does for Phil to spew it from his fucking mouth. And if anything you say is even slightly off, in Phil's twisted perception of things, he'll twist the minutia and focus on semantics and focus on nonsense. You have to really be prepared. You have to know all of the material, and you have to be prepared to cut Phil off constantly, talk over him, treat him with no respect, no decorum, and no dignity, like Steve Cambion did. Steve Cambion did it pretty perfectly.
Or else he'll just lie, and it's just like a non-stop, or he'll like divert into a new...
So I knew going into the interview that chances are it would go exactly like it did.
We talked about that. Remember in the car? We're just like, it's not going to be.
I said, Phil's going to win.
Yeah, you did. You did say that.
The thing is, Phil's win condition is different than everyone else's win condition.
Yeah.
Most people would actually like to, win. Phil is about just like surviving like a fucking cockroach and scrounging scraps off the fucking ground like a bum.
Yeah.
He's not about actually like winning the exchanges, felting the other person, making fun or anything like that. He will gladly allow you to slap him around, piss in his fucking mouth, humiliate him, as long as he thinks by the end it will portray him in a light positive enough to siphon money parasitically from your fans. And so no one else really operates like this. And I can understand from Mr. Gold's perspective why he thought he did an amazing job with it, because he did slap Phil around. But the problem is he was too nice to Phil, and so therefore his fans had pity for Phil and then went and gave Phil money. And then therefore Phil claims that he won. It's the reality.
Content. Like nothing got editorialized. It was not edited in a way. It was just a clip of you doing something. That's it.
Okay, I didn't actually see the raw reaction to it, but I saw clips of it, and basically he's seeing stuff completely out of context.
Oh,
Okay, completely out of context.
Okay.
It was not out of context. So then Phil's crashing out at him, bitching. Here he is doing more, crashing out at Asmongold. Why won't he watch my streams?
So again, I'm
You know
so
what's funny too? Asmon never even watched Bill Raw, obviously. And after the interview, Asmon's already moved on. He doesn't care. Like, for him, it was Tuesday. For Phil, it's his life, right? For detractors, we're all watching. It's like, oh my God, what the fuck? But for
Asmon, it's an interesting curiosity.
yes,
It's like the equivalent of poverty tourism, or like going on safari to Africa, some exotic place. This isn't going to be your day-to-day thing. This is something that was a curiosity for a multimillionaire to interact with a legendary lolcow online that he's been laughing at for years. And to be honest with you, we had a similar view. When Phil contacted us, it's like, okay.
I'm like, doesn't everyone hate this guy? And then we're like, oh, he begs? Okay, we had him on and da-da-da. And then within like a few weeks, I was like, fuck this piece of shit.
It's just exhausting to deal with. And if Mr. Gold even bothers to look at his fucking DMs, or engage with Phil in any way, he's very quickly going to run into the exact same issues that we had with this guy, where he's just the ultimate clingy, parasitic leech who expects you to carry him through life, and he just feels entitled to every single person that Phil interacts with, whether it be in real life, whether it be viewers in his chat, whether it be other content creators. He has an expectation that that person has now pledged their lives to him, as though they're like vassals or servants, like to a liege lord who lords over them. And then you will give tribute to him over time, and it's your responsibility to prop him up from now until the end of time. For Phil, there's no such thing as you pop on here, then you pop on there. He wants to make himself the all-becoming center of your life, and he will accept nothing else. It is like straight up cult leader shit.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
sorry. I really am. I'm sorry that I acted like that. All right. As for Asmongold, I don't give a fuck what he says. I don't even know what he said. I don't care.
Obviously, dude.
He literally reacts to detractor content, which is always skewed. If he actually wanted a real perspective on someone, he would actually watch their real content. Like, instead of watching detractor clips on X, he would say, oh, is he streaming right now? Let's see what he's doing. And then tune into the stream and then judge for yourself, rather than just the out of context shit.
The thing is, if Asmongold did that, I'll just be real. If Asmongold or any of us did that, let's stream snipe Phil. What would happen is the viewership would go down so fucking fast.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking boring. What Asmon is seeing are the highlights. And that's what we would see, you know, as just casual viewers. If you see the highlights of him crashing out, the highlights of him begging, what you don't understand is that when he comes on your stream, he is the most low energy, boring, timid, people-pleasing, parasitic coward that you could possibly imagine. He just straight up sucks you off the entire time, skinwalks you, adopts your mannerisms, adopts your catchphrases, and just does anything and everything. He's so desperate for acceptance. And he did it to us. He did it to Asmongold. He does it to everybody that he interacts with. But here's Phil playing tough online and going, hey, Asmongold, read your Twitter DMs, you lazy shit, or else stop talking about me like a bitch. Now, Phil immediately then DM'd Asmongold and actually fucking apologized to Asmon and said that he only said that to get attention.
I mean,
online,
he wants to talk
which
to me.
is twisted. So look at Asmongold. He's like, I really didn't expect this.
Man, I really gotta, I gotta think about this. I mean,
and every detractor in the world DM'd him all the Phil info.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, for him, he doesn't have time to research this shit. I get it. You know what I mean?
But what's crazy also, and I really think he should have incorporated this more, he had on his Reddit a list of questions to submit.
Yes.
Had he just gone down that list of questions, people would have been a lot happier with it in the detractor community.
That was the thing that was retarded. I'll say that. Like, why not? Why not ask him the questions, you know?
And I just feel like that was the big flaw in his performance was, you know, he asked for input from the Phil community and he got the input and then he didn't do anything with it.
He ignored it. He ignored it completely.
You know? And so it just kind of
the King Snake arc with us was mentioned a million times on the Reddit, like literally top comments, not even an inquiry. And people in the chat were like, "Oh, the King Snake," and it's like not even an inquiry about it.
And I don't want to toot our own horn or be whatever, but that really is the biggest thing that's happened with Phil in the last year.
Yeah,
it really has been. Like the King Snake stream with RTU is so fucking funny that even if you don't know anything about it at all,
yeah,
and you just tune into it and Review Tech just not going along with Phil's plan at all, Phil like pulling out the fucking briefcase with the picture of a shirtless and shit like that. That shit's so fucking funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really fucking jokes.
Listen, I understand why it went down the way that it did.
Sure.
But ultimately, I think that Asmongold probably would have been better off here just ghosting Phil. I think everybody other than Phil would have been better off. And we wouldn't have minded not having this interview between them. And because if Phil would have just crashed out had Asmon just totally ghosted him. But it is what it is. Now we're getting a very different arc with Phil, kind of a retread of our arc. We'll see if Asmongold does more stuff with Phil. Maybe he did. I don't think he's going.
It's literally not happening because was it 2 days later? You could tell Asmon was rattled about the reaction. He's like, I was just trying to not be mean to the guy, and you could tell like
it's ultimately going to pay off in one of several different ways. Either Asmongold ends up like turning on Phil because Asmon's community recognizes how fucked Phil is and then starts being like, what the fuck, Asmon? And he's like, yeah, he's a clown, you know, he's not to be trusted. Asmongold gets red pilled on the Phil question or whatever the fuck. Or Asmon just completely ignores Phil, lets him rot, the fall off happens, Phil's money buff wears out and he fucking crashes out.
Which is what's going to happen.
That's realistically what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But there's multiple ways for this to play out. I really think that none of them end with Phil being Asmongold's permanent co-host on a podcast or a panel where Phil rakes in millions of dollars a year as part of the new OTK or whatever. I don't really think that's happening.
I'm telling you right now.
But if it does, that's still funny in and of itself. Just that we'd live in a timeline where that could happen.
It will never happen. I'm telling you right now. It will never. There's no way. Look, here's the thing is, Phil, even if he was on a panel, let's say that, right? Let's say, for example, remember when he was on the politics show we did on the election stream?
Yeah.
Other streams with other people? He stinks. Phil is still Phil. Phil is not like, oh my God, he's entertaining. Like, this rules.
The problem is he doesn't have any takes because he doesn't know anything.
It's just the trackers and games and like.
This is the thing is, even within gaming, he doesn't have any sort of specialty knowledge or expertise or hot takes, even though he's been in the space for fucking forever.
Yeah.
The only time that Phil can ever give any sort of specialty expertise is on the Street Fighter 2 Turbo community from 25 years ago. And that's a very niche application. And even then, his perspective on that is skewed by the fact that he's mentally retarded.
Yeah.
And just doesn't actually understand how anything works in reality.
Yeah.
So, like, if he was on a panel, for instance, with Asmongold and his crew, and they're talking about Trump and Hassan and Twitch, he's not going to have anything to add. On a video game panel, all he can do is echo already, like, the most popular, normal, cold take opinions. You're not going to hear anything new or interesting or insightful from Phil because Phil doesn't ever take the opportunity to broaden his horizons, make himself more intelligent. Phil, in fact, does the opposite. He narrows himself down to like the bare minimum possible that you need to know about the world in order to survive. And in any other time in history, Phil would probably already be dead. But he was lucky enough to be born in this time when life is so easy. So...
I hate interacting with people, but this is a content opportunity. This is a pretty big one.
No, this is crazy. Is that Asmongold is actually awestruck at the concept of getting to interact with Phil.
We were shocked too. We were like, oh my God, Phil.
He's actually like in this moment, like pignatized by the king. Like in this moment, Asmongold has forgotten that he's the biggest live streamer in the world. In all time. And he's now become the Asmongold of 10 or 15 years ago when he would laugh at Phil when Asmon was a nobody, fucking broke as a joke. And he's like, really? I'm going to get to interact with the guy who jerked off on camera? So he's like, I'm going to fucking do it, you know?
Ask him. Do you mean live on stream or off stream?
What's going on with his eyebrows?
He always does that. He has like a little twitch or whatever.
We'll see what he says, right? And from I don't know. And on stream, yeah, I don't know. This way, he's using this way to save his dying channel with your platform.
Well, yes.
You act like that's a problem for me. you guys
like,
might not
listen,
really understand the way that I think about.
He doesn't give a
charity,
fuck.
yes.
He doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a fuck at all. And neither do we. And like, this is, I understand completely his perspective, because it was our perspective last year. Is it's like, they're gonna seethe based.
You know what I mean? Like, who gives
we're making people pissed off by propping up Phil based, because we love to make people fucking seethe, right? Like, at heart, we're all fucking trolls here, right?
And then,
so,
but you all have to remember, if Phil really is as shit as he is, and he is, but if he is, you don't have to be worried about a big YouTuber promotes him. He will always fall if he's shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he actually isn't, then this shout out would have brought him like 5,000 new subs a day. He'd be the most famous man on the earth or whatever. He'd be killing. No, he went back down to 300 viewers within 2 days.
yes.
Phil stinks. That's the thing. It's like, if he was amazing, this wouldn't have.
There's no
fallen.
retention. By the end of the year,
Yes.
it's over.
Exactly.
By the end of the year, I think it's over.
Yes.
Realistically. By the way, we got Choco Smoke for 5 subs.
Let's go. Big support. Thank you so much.
Things, but like, so I know that there are people that are using me in some cases, but if I think that I'm getting something out of it, I don't really care.
And the thing
It
is,
doesn't matter to me.
What he's getting out of it is to kind of fulfill a dream of just interacting with the guy. Like, that's the thing is, it's just a curiosity to him. Like, it's a freak show attraction. He knows that he's bulletproof. He knows that there's nothing that can possibly be done to hurt him in any way. He's completely insulated by his money. He lives a very modest lifestyle where he saved everything, spends nothing. He basically still lives the exact same he did when he was fucking broke.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's really nothing that detractors could possibly do to him. And so he can do this and be like, whatever, fuck you.
Isn't this crazy, by the way? Isn't this crazy? With Asmon and DSP, isn't it like the complete opposites?
Oh, yes.
Asmon makes so much money and spends nothing. DSP